Support comes from the Wiregrass Archives at Troy University's Dothan campus, identifying and preserving historical documents and photographs for research related to the Wiregrass region. More information at troy.edu/wiregrassarchives.
From Troy Public Radio, this is In Focus, and I'm Carolyn Hutchison. Horseshoe Bend National Military Park in Daviston, Alabama, commemorates a battle between the forces of Andrew Jackson against Upper Creek Indians at a bend in the Tallapoosa River. According to the National Park Foundation, some 1,600 soldiers and Indian warriors lay dead after the horrific battle. Park Superintendent Andrew Miller joins us to preview an August 22nd symposium in Auburn. And the Battle of Horseshoe Bend led to the creation of the state of Alabama. Andrew Miller, welcome to Troy Public Radio.
Thanks for having me, Carolyn.
How has Horseshoe Bend recovered after the tornado last year?
We had an EF3 tornado hit Horseshoe Bend National Military Park last March 2025. It caused a significant amount of resource degradation on both sides of the Tallapoosa River. The tornado traveled along the river through the commemorative area and up through the northeast section of the park. It causes a significant impact on the park and its operations. And fortunately for Horseshoe Bend, it has a very small but mighty staff that came together. Many of them are highly qualified individuals that were able to utilize their skills clearing the park and getting it back open to the public. So it took some time. And because of that, it impacted opening its doors and greeting visitors, conducting interpretive programs, and including some of the special events that people expect from this park.
Why is this park so historically important?
So March 27th, 1814, Battle of Horseshoe Bend, or Battle of the Horseshoe, was the culmination of war between the United States coalition forces, a group of regular Army units, militia from Tennessee, and allied indigenous warriors commanded by Major General Andrew Jackson, fighting Chief Menawa and the Red Sticks that remained. This war was a war of culture between the Creek people themselves. It started out as a civil war, but it escalated into something much larger, all at the same time that the War of 1812 has commenced in the entire country against Great Britain. And as this larger war is happening with Great Britain, this insurgent war is happening with the Creek people. And it culminates here on the bend of the Tallapoosa River, where 1,000 warriors are defending their families and their home and really their way of life to the death. And they ultimately will sacrifice themselves here to preserve that way of life. The Creek did lose the battle. Ultimately, they signed a treaty that conceded 23 million acres of land, which for Alabamians is really the beginning of the creation of the state of Alabama, that secession of land, and eventually the remainder of the state when the Creek and their neighboring Cherokee and Choctaw were removed from the southeast will help create not only Alabama, but Mississippi as well.
You have an event coming up that will commemorate this historic battle. Can you give us a preview?
The park has an annual academic symposium, and we are thrilled after having missed 2025 due to that catastrophic tornado and the impact it had on our operation and staff, that we're thrilled to have that symposium kick back off this year. The academic symposium's theme, Memory and Meaning in the Creek War, will be held at Auburn University at Pebble Hill on Saturday, August 22nd, in collaboration with Auburn University and the Friends of Horseshoe Bend. We'll bring leading scholars to discuss the Creek War and how generations have commemorated it.
Can you tell us who some of these scholars are?
Keith A. Baer, a Draughton professor at Southern History, also at Auburn, will be speaking on the battle to create Horseshoe Bend National Military Park. Even more unique as we get into the dynamics of the development of a national park commemorating the event. that discusses the incredible story of the battle here, setbacks to create the park originally, the foresight of locals in our community that really made a difference in getting this off the ground and ultimately becoming Alabama's first national park unit. We have other speakers as well. Mike Bunn, the director of Historic Blakely State Park. Mike is a prolific author. His talk will be Remembering and Forgetting the Creek War in Alabama, the successes in regard to preservation and interpretation, and threats to kind of what has happened over time at an overlooked place like Horseshoe Bend. So the significance of this place in our history to Americans, and then maybe forgetting it a little bit of its uniqueness and the impact, especially it had in the state of Alabama.
And I understand you do have a Native American speaker.
We do. We're very excited to have Jake Tiger, who is a traditional heritage interpreter. He is Muskogee Seminole, and he will be speaking on the Muskogee people and the struggle for the Southeast. So his program is going to be discussing a variety of things from the wars that the Muskogee people fought over time. And Jake has extensive history working with the Alabama Department of Archives and History, the Gilcrease Museum in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Seminole Nation Museum, National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. Jake's expertise is in traditionally made clothing and items. So he makes everything by hand the way that his ancestors made them. And there's a great picture of him on our park's website of him in his traditional clothing, which is phenomenal. He handmade everything. It's unbelievable.
Well, next week we'll talk with presenter Dr. Catherine Braun about the actual Battle of Horseshoe Bend and her book. How can people get involved in the symposium?
They do not have to sign up. They just have to show up to Pebble Hill in Auburn, Alabama, 101 South DeBartoleben Street in Auburn. It begins at 8 o'clock in the morning, Saturday, August 22nd, and bring a willingness to learn and to understand a very complex chapter of our history. Each one of the scholars that will be speaking that day contributes an important lens to the complex history. So through these partnerships and relationships, we're able to present a more complete and really a more nuanced picture of our past for a deeper appreciation of our collective history.
Is there a website for Horseshoe Bend?
Every national park has a website. Our website is nps.gov/HOBE.
Can you repeat that?
nps.gov/HOBE. And that will take you to the main website. And the first thing that visitors will see when they open up that website is a large rectangular icon that says the annual Horseshoe Bend National Military Park Symposium. And you can click that button and it will take you to all the information about the theme, about this year's presenters. It makes it for a really good preparation for attending the event itself.
You've worked at a number of national parks. What's special about this one?
It's an incredible place. Like many battlefields, when you arrive, it's serene, it's beautiful, it's green. The trees are budding, the birds are chirping. It's almost impossible for us to conjure up what happened, the violence and strife and noise, fear, everything that happened on these grounds. It's very hard today. You walk the grounds and you get a feel for the landscape. You can make that connection. You can understand that history lives here. And our annual symposium brings it to life with voices from the community.
Andrew, thank you for your visit today.
Thank you, Carolyn, for having me.
That was Horseshoe Bend National Military Park Superintendent Andrew Miller with a preview of the August 22nd symposium. If you haven't yet visited Horseshoe Bend in Daviston, Alabama, it is a poignant reminder of the price of American history. Thanks for joining us today for In Focus, which is a podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Feel free to get in touch at infocus@troy.edu. I'm Carolyn Hutchison, and this is listener-supported Troy Public Radio.